So today we're going to be fixing the UFC featherweight rankings. Now, since UFC 314, the UFC have arguably done the worst ranking updates in human history and have completely ruined the featherweight division, in my opinion, with how they have ranked certain fighters. It's awful. So today I'm here to fix it. Let's start off with the champion of the division. It is Volkanovski. Thankfully, this guy beat Diego Lopez. What a fight that was at UFC 314. Volkanovski won that fight 4-1, in my opinion. I thought that was a vintage, by God, vintage Volkanovski performance. Looked really good in there. Looking forward to seeing Volkanovski get back inside of the cage. When that'll be, I'm not too sure. Maybe like August, September time, because he did take a lot of damage in there against against Diego Lopez. I was about to say he took a lot of damage from Movsar Evloev, which is just impossible. That guy cannot deal out damage, but Diego Lopez can, and he badly beat up Volkanovski. His face is all bruised, his lip is all cut that had to be stitched up. I think he said there's a problem with his hand as well, so Volk might be out for quite a while, but he's the champion of the division. Let's move on to who number one is. It is Movsar Evloev. I will not tolerate any other positioning of this guy in the rankings. The UFC have him in at number 5. Tell me right now how this guy's the 5th best featherweight. Tell me how. The only reason as to why I think Movsar is being done so dirty is because I'm not sure if this is 100% true. There was that rumour that he was going to be fighting Aaron Pico on his UFC debut, and Movsar kind of took to social media to say, no, I'm not taking that fight. And rightly so. Like, what has Aaron Pico done to earn a number 1 contender fight against Movsar Evloev? Like, what has he done outside of the UFC? Genuine question. What has he actually done outside of the UFC? Really think about it to warrant being in this position. He doesn't. He doesn't deserve to be in that position. Movsar Evloev is 19-0 in his MMA career. He's beaten the likes of Dan Ige, he's beaten Aljamain Sterling, Diego Lopez, he's beaten him as well. He's beaten Arnold Allen. Now, does he have many finishes? He actually has 0 in the UFC. Bruh. But the names on the guy's resume, the people that he's beaten, this guy is number 1. And thankfully Volkanovski, this is what's so good about Volk as a champion, he understands who the next best guy is, and it is Movsar. The fact this guy's ranked number 5th in the UFC's rankings as we speak, I need to have the person who updated the rankings test to see if they have a learning difficulty, because that is the only logical reason. Movsar's number 1, no questions about it. Number 2, it is Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez obviously just fought for the belt against Volkanovski. Now, like I said, I did score the fight 4-1 to Volkanovski, but that does not mean Diego Lopez did not have his moments. He dropped Volkanovski bad in the 2nd round, hurt Volkanovski bad in the 4th round, but outside of those moments, he did kind of get outclassed. He was kind of aura farming at parts of the fight where he was like shouting in Volkanovski's face, trying to drag Volkanovski into this dogfight. But Diego Lopez is good. He's game. He'll fight anybody. He's also beaten some big names in the division, like a Dan Ige, like Sadiq Youssef, who he knocked out at UFC 300. That was a great knockout. And he's also beaten Brian Ortega. This guy is definitely number 2 in the division. Also, what you might notice here is we have got Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria out of the rankings because both guys have made it clear they are now lightweights. So why the fuck are they in the division? Why are they still ranked? Also, why was Max Holloway pushed up into number 1 and Ilia Topuria, who just beat Max Holloway and was the defending champion, was put down into number 3? This is what I mean by the person has to have learning difficulties. We need to understand what their problem is. Diego Lopez is number 2. Moving on into number 3. Bruh. I've got Brian Ortega. Now, this might shock a lot of people, and I understand why. But I can't have Yair Rodriguez above this guy. This guy has fought for the belt twice. Yes, he's been unlucky, but he's beaten some big names like Frankie Edgar, the Korean Zombie. And not that long ago, he submitted Yair Rodriguez, who for some reason is being promised a title fight. Brian Ortega has to be number 3, just logically. He has to be number 3. And before people say, well, Brian Ortega actually says he's going to fight at lightweight next, nothing's been confirmed yet for him. T-City is staying in at number 3, which is bizarre to say, but with Ilya and Max leaving, this guy is number 3. He is. Moving on to number 4, it is Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez, former interim featherweight champion. a lot of people would probably have him above Ortega, because technically it's 1-1 between him and Ortega, but Brian Ortega actually got injured in their matchup, like his shoulder dislocated, so it's not as if it was a proper TKO finish for Yair, who stopped him a ground and pound. Wasn't the case at all. And when they actually rematched and there was a clear, concise winner, Brian Ortega subbed him. So Yair Rodriguez, I think he's pretty good, to be honest. I want to see him fight Diego Lopez next. It's clear that he doesn't want to fight Diego Lopez next, and for some reason thinks that he has history between him and Volk that they need to resolve or some shit like that. We don't need anything to be resolved. It was resolved. You got smoked. Let's move on. Let's get you versus Diego Lopez at UFC Noche. I can't have him higher though. Yes, he does have a more recent win than what Brian Ortega does, but it was against an unranked guy in Patricio Pitbull. So you're not going above Brian Ortega. End of discussion. Moving on into number 5, I believe. It is Lerone Murphy. Look, Lerone Murphy is 16-0. He's got wins over the likes of Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barboza. He deserves this position. He is like the Leon. He's like the alt account of Leon Edwards. He's not a specialist anywhere, but he's really good everywhere, if you know what I mean. Now, his finishing instinct isn't the best, quite similar to Leon Edwards, but I think he is extremely well-rounded, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Lerone Murphy challenging for the belt pretty soon. That's how good I think Lerone Murphy actually is. Moving on, we're going to go in to number 6. It is Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen, I don't think anyone would actually have him above Lerone Murphy, to be honest, if I'm just thinking about it logically. He is coming off a loss to Movsar Evloev, but that is the thing with Arnold Allen. He's only really lost to the elite of the elite in the featherweight division, like a Max Holloway, like a Movsar Evloev. He has beaten 2 ranked guys. Let me see, who were the 2 ranked people he beat? Giga Chikadze and Calvin Kattar. He's also beat the likes of Dan Hooker as well. Arnold Allen does have a good resume. I think the number 6 spot is perfect for Arnold Allen. Don't know why I done that. Moving on, in at number 7, it is Aljamain Sterling, one of the most disrespected fighters of all time. Aljo, former bantamweight champion, a former pound for pounder. He's beaten the likes of Calvin Kattar in the featherweight division. That is a theme throughout the video, by the way. It seems like everybody's beaten Calvin Kattar. He's beaten Calvin Kattar. He went tooth and nail with Movsar. There's an argument that he should have won that fight. I think Movsar did deserve to win it, and I am number 1 member of the Aljamain Sterling fan club. Aljo is in at number 7. I think Aljamain Sterling has the skill set to be in the top 5, though. I'm not even joking. That's how good I think Aljo is. Moving on. We've got fucking ISO Speed. We've got ISO Speed up next. Gene Silva. People might say it's a bit too high for Gene Silva. Believe me, if I could use my logic to put him any lower, I would. But the guy's on a 5-fight win streak. All 5 of those wins have came by finish. Obviously, his biggest win outside of Bryce Mitchell one was against Drew Dober, who is in the division above, but he just beat Bryce Mitchell pretty easy, if we're being honest, which pains me. Like, see the way he was barking after he knocked him out? Like, fucking, you're not ISO Speed, shut the fuck up. The UFC need to do what's right here and feed this man, the Aljamain Sterling. But Gene Silva, he is here in the rankings. Moving on in at number 9. I think this is... where am I? I think I might have just spoiled who the next people are. Number 9, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's Josh Emmett. He is on a bit of a losing streak, to be honest, but he does have wins over Calvin Kattar. Shock, half the division do. Dan Ige and Bryce Mitchell. He's been a mainstay in the division for quite a while as well. I'm keeping him here. Former interim title challenger as well. Josh Emmett is rounding out the top 10. Or no, sorry. Yusuf Salal's rounding out the top 10. It would help if I could count and wasn't extremely jet lagged. For those who don't know, I'm just back from Vegas and it was fucking awesome. We've got Yusuf Salal, in at number 10. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Again, guess what, guys? He just beat Calvin Kattar. Yusuf Salal, obviously he's fought the likes of Topuria and all that before. I think Yusuf Salal, I don't think he'll ever be a title challenger, to be honest, especially after that Calvin Kattar performance. It was fucking awful. The guy was Forrest Gump. But with the win streak he's on, he's just been a ranked guy. I'm going to have him round out the top 10, if I've counted correctly. Moving on, we have got the main man, we have got Bryce Mitchell. Shout out Bryce Mitchell. He will make his return. Bryce Mitchell in the UFC's rankings have been taken out of the top 15, which makes absolutely zero fucking sense to have Bryce Mitchell out, but have the likes of Calvin Kattar in. Doesn't make any sense. Bryce Mitchell, he is maybe not top 5 worthy. I think he could definitely get into the top 10. I think he's a decent striker with really good grappling and jiu-jitsu. He's got wins over the likes of Edson Barbosa, Kron Gracie. Who else has he beat? I don't know if you're going to allow me to slip in the Kron Gracie win as a good win, but I'm going to try to. And he's also beat Dan Ige as well. Bryce Mitchell, he deserves to be in the top 15. Moving on, we have got Dan Ige. Look, I was about to put Dan Ige above Bryce Mitchell, but Bryce Mitchell has beat him pretty recently. Although, having a win over Sean Woodson, in my opinion, is better than having a more recent win over Kron Gracie. But the fact that Bryce has beat him already, it was a close fight. I think Bryce has to be above him. And the fact that the Sean Woodson fight was arguably like one of the worst stoppages of all time. But Dan Ige, he has been a mainstay in the top 15 for a while. He's as game as they come. He'll fight anybody. And I actually think Dan Ige is underrated. I'm just going to be honest. Moving on, we have got Giga Chikadze. Giga Chikadze has wins over the likes of Cub Swanson, Edson Barbosa. His most recent win is against Alex Caceres. His most recent fight he did lose to Arnold Allen. For those who remember, this guy was talking up a big game like he was going to beat Volkanovski, and then he got absolutely exposed by Calvin Kattar. Yes, Calvin Kattar, the guy that has been named throughout the video as someone that everyone else has beaten. Calvin Kattar beat the living piss out of Giga Chikadze, but I'm going to put him here. I think he deserves to be inside of the top 15, just about. And moving on, we're cutting down to the final two now. Look, people might say why. I like Pitbull. That's why. The guy's got great wins outside of the UFC. He was the Bellator GOAT, a 2-division world champion. At parts, he looked competitive against Yair. Notice the word parts. When he caught him with a left hook at one point, when he started to use his grappling, when he almost submitted him. He had moments in that matchup, just not enough. I think Pitbull's best days are behind him, yes, but I definitely think he is top 15 featherweight right now in the UFC, although you might argue about this one, and I can kind of understand why. I'm just a Pitbull fanboy. I'm moving on to finish it off. We've got Steve Garcia in at the number 15 spot. People might say, where's Calvin Kattar? Where's Edson Barbosa? Steve Garcia is on a 5-fight win streak in the UFC right now, and all 5 of those wins have came by finish. His next fight is against Edson Barbosa, and if he does get the job done in that matchup, I suspect he will be ranked inside the top 15. So I am just Israel Adesanya in this, manifesting this, that Steve Garcia will end up in the UFC's top 15. So yeah, that is the correct UFC top 15 featherweights. Let me know your rankings in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. Thanks for the support. And I'll see you again in the next one.